มิติสิกขาการณียานักขันธนักศีสัพพจาระกังคารเสกนิสามิติสิกขาการณียานักศี
Devotees downstairs, you will meet them. They have been preparing for the food, and we'll have a very delicious lunch for the Sangha. And then we will return back here at around 1 o'clock. And after lunch for the monks, they can come upstairs and you can find any room to relax. There's a little library, there's some classroom, there's the temple. So feel comfortable. This is your place for you to relax until we start the program in the afternoon with the Thai Mahasangha who will start the program. So all the nuns who've come from Alaska and Thailand, we're so happy to see you. And they've been very involved in the decoration. Please take mindful step as you're walking down the stairs. Go slowly.
So we feel very blessed. So it's wonderful to be able to end the day with a Dharma talk from such an eminent speaker. And I will hand over to Wanmu now, who will introduce our evening speaker, and then
one of the things that came to mind in the approach from a Buddhist perspective, because once you start dealing in absolutes, then you're kind of stuck, you're sunk. So that sense of, I say, like absolute purity. Wow, what a little different way of relating to it. There's like where the mind sees things clearly, and there's still there are the conditioning factors of mind, and internalize it. In the way, so one of the qualities that we recollect on a regular basis and qualities of the Dhamma is open aiko. It's leading inwards. We have to draw it into the heart and into our own experience so that we're able to manifest that ourselves also. And he noticed that Ajahn Chah would, oftentimes treat the Thai monks and the Western monks a little bit differently, in that he could be a bit more maybe critical.
To ask questions, and there's a microphone over there, and you're welcome to come up here too.
So I have two questions, if I may. The first has to do with compassion and the four Brahma Viharas. So compassion is one of the four Brahma Viharas, and I'm wondering, why is it singled out? Why is it wisdom and compassion rather than wisdom and joy or wisdom and equanimity? Okay.
I can speculate or proliferate, but I don't. It's probably more to do with Buddhist history than with. And I think, again, just as a conjecture, the element of and I touched on it a bit, in the sense of compassion being a quality.
We've heard that Luang Por Cha taught about Puru. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like being the knowing, or different people have translated it in different ways. Could you say something about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a very common term in the Thai language, and certainly not restricted to Ajahn Chah. Very common in the Thai forest tradition. This sense of being the one who knows. And it comes from the definition. When they define or translate the word Buddha.
Talks today. And following up on the previous question, just seeing if I kind of want to pin it down a little more. I love and there was the critique today, the talk about mindfulness, which was great. So you have this word mindfulness and the problem of taking it out of context or different traditions. I think I've heard you talk before about the establishments rather than foundations of mindfulness. I like the way of talking about it, of establishing, 4 establishments or establishing oneself in mindfulness. So my question is, as lay people especially, and using the 4 foundations of mindfulness as the framework here, is the practice and our goal to be mindful every minute of the day? And within that would be, and how would that relate to times when we're, say, thinking or reflecting, or are we, and then not being mindful, or what? That's the question.
Well, I think one of the things is, and thinking and reflecting are aspects of being mindful of our thoughts and feelings, because it's so. I mean, being mindful of our actions are a helpful tool, but it is a tool. It's a mirror to be able to see more.
Is compassion supposed to be without that kind of pain, of empathy, or?
Well, the reality is again, you have to separate out what it says in the books, because, yes, say as a divine abiding, then one of the stains of or obstacles of compassion is being overwhelmed by pity, suffering, and so being overwhelmed by suffering. But as the reality is that it's the willingness to live. Jataro Dhamma Vanhandeya Yuvanno Sukhan Phalang.
Pata kinang pata kinha chitta palang ke si se pata vipokare Abhiseke Sapa Bhutanang Akhapato Pamotati Sunakhatang Sumang Talang Supapayakambang Pathakinang Manokamang Panisite Pathanala.
Because many things to work together, and then also I think one more and Richard Dixie.
Ratanataya Satu Parotapaya Verasoka Satutupatawa.
Before we have a group, having the group photo.